This is question 7 of the additional maths paper 2019. So we're going to be looking at the remainder and the factor theorem in this question. There we go. So the first question is asking you to find the remainder. Now it gives us a hint. It tells us that x minus 3, okay? That is currently one of our brackets in a sense if we were to factorize essentially this question. However, because it's a remainder, we know that it doesn't equal to 0. So by putting x equals 3, we will find out what our answer is going to be. So each section, then you're subbing it in. So 3 cubed, and then we're plussing 8 brackets 3 squared minus 2, and then putting the 3 back in there, and plus 6. Now, it is optional because this is a calculator paper, so you might want to be at this point, just shove it straight into your calculator. If you have extra time, I would recommend just having a quick workout. So 9 times 8 is 72. Just getting the gist of it, so when you are checking, you can make sure you haven't missed anything out or you haven't typed anything wrong into your calculator. Typing that all in, you should have had 99 when you work that out, especially you should get the same on a calculator, but this is something that you could do in your head. So I would preferably do both just to double check. And that's the end of that question. The next one, x plus 3 is a factor. So if it's a factor, it should be coming to 0. So a bit like when you have the quadratics, when you have your two brackets, they equal the sum to 0. So this should also give us 0. And then if you think if it's x plus 3 is going to give us 0, then x has to be minus 3. So what we're going to do is each step of the way, again, just substitute that in. So I'm going to go minus 3, again, cubed, plus minus 3 squared, and then that minus 3, and then minus 105. Again, just having a quick go, so minus 27, minus times a minus makes a plus. This is where usually most people make mistakes. And you've got minus 41 times minus 3. So just be careful there. That's going to give you another plus, and that should be 123, and then minus your 105. And that should give you 0, okay? If it hasn't given you 0 because it's telling you it's a factor, you need to check your pluses and minuses. And also maybe check it in the calculator. If you do, make sure you write brackets around everything you're substituting, because we don't want it to become minus 41 minus 3. It needs to be times them. Right, having a look at the mark scheme. Sorry, I've written a bit over that. But the first mark you get is for substituting in. So as you can see, substitute it in, and in brackets they've just said it's optional that if you showed your actual working of them subbed in, and your answer is 99. So straight away we've got 2 marks there, which is great. The second question, I feel like I haven't written over this one. So showing that you were substituting x equals minus 3, which we have shown, that gives us our first mark. And our second mark then is just showing that it equals minus 0, equals 0, which we've also shown by our workings there. Okay. So we're on the last part now. Now there's more than one way of working this out. The method I use is because it translates quite nicely when you do go into AS, but again, there is 2 options at AS, so please be aware this is just one method. You might see it differently done. So the first thing I do is, because it's the same one from earlier, if we just double check, x plus 3 was a factor, and it is the same version. So I know straight away x plus 3 is a factor. So what I tend to do is put in my little bit of knowledge. And it looks like I've got a division bus stop coming here. It kind of works similar to it, but I work backwards and forwards. So the first term and the last term are the more important ones to me, because I know when I'm multiplying with my multiple brackets, they will definitely appear and they won't change much. So x times what gives me x squared? Well, it's x, well, x cubed is x squared. And 3 times what gives me a minus 105? Well, it's minus 35. Now I'm at this scenario, but I don't know what the middle value is. So at this point, what I'm going to do is just do a separate bracket of just working out what the middle value is going to be. So x plus 3 and x squared minus 35. Now I just expand out. I find this is the simplest way to do this. There are other methods though. And then inwards plus 3x squared. And then the last one, minus 105. Now what we're going to do is take away each term. So it does get a little bit confusing if you put your minuses in separately. So what I tend to do is if it's not becoming a takeaway, well, I kind of put a plus there. So I've already got my line there, so I might as well keep that. And then this one, I've got x squared minus, so that's going to become minus 3x squared minus 41. And see, I'm going to be minus in another 35, so I'm going to put plus there. So straight away I know what's happened. Again, this does take practice. I've done this for a while now, so you might have a different method that you want to use. I'm just going to rub that part out now. And I'm going to say that's a plus 105. Oh, there's my one. There we go. Now this is going to give me a new line, and it's also going to help me then to find out what's missing. So these x cubed, take away x cubed, is going to give me 0. X squared, take away minus 3x squared, is going to give me minus 2x squared. Minus 41x plus 85 is going to give me minus 6x squared, minus 6x. And this again is going to give me 0. Now, where I'm left with this, I know that x plus 3 is a factor because what I've done essentially is times by x plus 3. So to find that middle value, what I'm now going to do is divide by x plus 3. So hence the forwards and backwards motion that I told you. Again, there is probably another way that you could do it. When it comes to remembering, I find this a lot easier to go with. And again, it's just down to practice. So x times what gives us minus 2x squared? Well, it's minus 2x. I'm just checking that. Minus 2x times 3 gives us minus 6x. Hence giving us the top value, which is this part by here. And that's where that comes into effect. Again, once these videos are all uploaded, there'll be some more work on this to show you how to do this. Now you're at this stage, we're just going to factorize. Simple factorization, 7 and 5 are factors of 35. To get minus 2, it's going to be x minus 7, x plus 5. So my final answer, because I'm just factorizing it, be x plus 3, x minus 7, and x plus 5. And that's it. Okay, it is 4 marks. There is loads of ways of picking up marks, and we'll have a look at the mark scheme now. Again, I've written all over it. Okay, so it says intention to divide by x plus 3 is what we've done. And it's making sure that we have that top bit. So we actually get 3 marks. So 1 mark for showing that we tried to divide, which we did. 2 marks for getting up to the point where we've got that minus 2x, which is good. And then your last mark for factorizing. So there we go. And that was our 3rd one. So 4th mark in total. Both of these questions added together were with 8 marks. So if you manage to get all 8 marks now, that's fantastic. Even if you're struggling on this last part, just remembering doing that, putting the remainder in, putting the factor in, that's 4 marks you're getting. And then it's just that last section to learn, okay? Well, I hope this was useful, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.